Once you're receiving appointment requests in myServiceScheduler, it's important to understand how to work with and manage the requests. In this video, we're going to cover what you need to know. What you're seeing now is the myServiceScheduler appointment request screen for a fictional company. I'm doing this on a desktop computer so that things are easier to demonstrate, but everything we go over today may easily be done on a mobile device. Okay, let's get down to business. Here's the general flow of how myServiceScheduler works. Customers go to your website, they request an appointment, then once you approve the appointment request, an appointment is created in myServiceJobs. By the way, if you don't have a website, let us know and we'll help you get one set up. I want to emphasize that your customers are not technically making an appointment. They are requesting an appointment. It's not actually an appointment until you give it a status of scheduled. In practical terms, this means an appointment will not appear in the myServiceJobs application until you say so. I like to point this out to remind you that you are still in control of your schedule, not your customers. Next, let's take a look at the appointment request screen layout and how it works. Of course, the tabs for the other screens are across the top. Below that are the search tools. I'll come back to this shortly. Under the search tools is the appointment request list. On a desktop or laptop computer, clicking the contact name will show you the details of the request. On a mobile device, just tap the request in the list. Notice that if you tap on any of the column headings, the list will be sorted by the information in that column. If you click the same column heading a second time, it sorts in the opposite order. The far right column shows a colored circle to indicate the status of the particular request. The key for the status symbols is in the lower right. Yellow is pending, green is scheduled, gray or silver is closed, and red is canceled. As a brief explanation of the appointment request statuses, pending indicates a customer has made a request and has received an automated acknowledgement, but you have not necessarily done anything with the request yet. Scheduled means that you have accepted the request and the appointment has been created in the myServiceJobs app. The closed and canceled statuses can really mean whatever you want them to mean. As a rule of thumb, you'll mark something as closed when the appointment is finished and canceled if a request never actually turns into an appointment. Let's focus on the search tools for a moment. By default, when you access the appointment request screen, the date range will be from the current day to 30 days into the future, so a month's worth. You may adjust these dates as needed. Just a side note, when you access myServiceScheduler from a desktop computer, by default, you see all appointment requests, regardless of status. When you access myServiceScheduler from the myServiceJobs application, you have the choice to see just the pending requests or see everything for the default date range when you jump from the application to the appointment request screen. Regardless, whenever you're viewing the appointment request screen, you can adjust search parameters however you want to search in the selected date range. I'm going to switch over to the Calendar tab for a moment. This is not the calendar your customers or website visitors will see. This calendar is for your use. There are a few important features of this screen. First, in the green rectangles, you can see available request slots for the current day and any days in the future. In the orange rectangles, you'll see the number of appointment requests for that particular day. If you put your mouse over the orange block, a list of the appointment requests appears, and you may click on any names in the list to see the details of the appointment request. Finally, if you ever want to schedule an appointment, for instance, maybe you're on the phone with a customer and want to set up an appointment with them, you may click on any of the green available blocks and set up the appointment. Now, I'll switch back to the appointment request screen and we'll go over the process of accepting an appointment request and turning it into an actual appointment. It's really pretty simple. Go to the details of the pending request, view the details, and if you can meet the customer's request, change the status to scheduled, then click Save. When you click Save, the appointment will be added to your myServiceJobs app. The number showing pending requests on the app will be decreased by 1, and the customer will receive an automated confirmation that the appointment has been scheduled. The confirmation will be a text message, email, or both, depending on how you have your settings. Of course, we all understand you're not going to be able to meet every customer's specific request, so there are times when you'll need to reschedule. In the case of rescheduling, do the following. At the bottom of the appointment request details, you'll see a Request for Reschedule button. Click the button. Then your customer will get an email explaining that you're requesting to reschedule their request. There will be a link in the email for them to click on to reschedule. Finally, adjust the status of the current request however you'd like. You may want to leave it pending, or change it to closed, canceled, or any other status we may add in the future. It's really a matter of what works best for you. Of course, you can always just call your customer directly or send them a personal email to reschedule if you'd prefer to do so. If you do this, just make sure to update the appointment request accordingly. Before I wrap things up, I want to go over a few useful pieces of information. First, you may encounter a situation where the myServiceJobs app says you have more requests than you see listed on the appointment request screen. Typically, when something like this happens, it's when a pending request falls outside the date range in the search parameters. So if this ever happens, try expanding the date range of your search. If you end up finding pending requests that are no longer needed, just edit them and mark the status as canceled or closed. Next, remember that when accessing myServiceScheduler from the myServiceJobs application, you will have the choice to view either the full list of appointment requests regardless of status, or view only the pending requests. It's often useful to see just the pending requests. If you need to see more, simply adjust your search. Finally, like I said early on, when you give a request a status of scheduled, you now officially have an appointment, and the appointment gets created in the myServiceJobs app. At this point, if you change the date of the appointment request in myServiceScheduler, the appointment will not be moved in the myServiceJobs application. Once the appointment is created in myServiceJobs, any changes to the appointment will need to be made directly in the app. Okay, I realize what we've gone over may be a lot of information to take in. I think one of the best ways to learn is just to get in there and experiment. Submit some fake appointment requests and play around. You'll have the hang of it in no time. As always, if you have questions or need any help, reach out to us using our online chat at www.myserviceforce.com or send us an email at support@myserviceforce.com.